Hi friends, Gio here. Today we're going to do chapter 26 for From a Stranger. I hope you enjoy. Chapter 26, Ilio. Johnny's legs started bouncing a little, and he laid a hand on it to calm it down. With the other hand, he set his phone on the table and hit record. Noah stood 6 feet away, wearing the same board shorts as at the luau. Danny wore them better. The surprise. Noah carried a bouquet of gift shop flowers. No judgment there, because I had bought some for Danny. But he had a teddy bear? It wore little green and yellow board shorts and carried a red and white plush surfboard. Billy turned away to keep from laughing. Further proof that Noah never knew me. Ilio, speak with me in private, Noah ordered. A year ago, I would have crawled to him, terrified to defy him. Though my stomach fluttered, I was too angry to submit to his every whim and order. Noah had humiliated the man I loved, and that man was watching from the phone. I loved Danny, even though it had been only a week. That refugee from Nevada had changed my life. I had to show Danny that he was worth fighting for, even if he never realized that I was fighting for him. I love you, Danny, I whispered, but so low nobody could hear me. Then I touched his face on the screen. This is for you. I turned to Noah and said, what you have to say to me, you can say to my friends as well. I want this to be public. Fine. No games then. You will get back together with me, Noah said, and stepped closer. No, I said. Ilio, what's going on? Danny said. Billy held the phone up so Danny could see. Guess who arrived at the party? Oh, Danny said. Danny's dad was rushed to the hospital just a little while ago, and Danny's barely holding it together. Noah, you have the worst timing, I said, and closed my eyes a second, and remembered a freaked-out Danny wearing nothing but a green beach towel, terrified that I would abandon him. Noah, you need to leave. I've already told you the relationship was over. No, it's not. You need me. It's not over, Noah said. Billy, is my connection bad, or did Noah really say that? Danny said. He had a large aquarium behind him with some large fish swimming around. Yes, he did, Billy said, but he wasn't smiling. You know what the sad part is, Danny? Take a sniff. I bet you can smell Noah's cologne clear in Nevada. Knock it off, you two, I said. Noah, Danny and I have something really special. Something that you and I never had. I let a finger run across the ring on my neck. Danny, show him your necklace. Ilio, I love you, and I love all your friends and family and everything, Danny said, and zoomed in on the ring on his neck and ran a finger across it. I love you too, I said. I had to change the subject or I'd start crying. There was no way I would cry in front of Noah. Danny, I didn't have a chance to say anything, but I filled out the paperwork so we can adopt the 1-year-old girl we met the other day. Finally, some good news, Danny said. His smile was as heartbreaking as his news. I'm sorry, guys, but I have to bail. Tiffany is here and says the doctor wants to speak to us. I'll call you when I can. I love you, babe. You be strong, I said. Something caught in my throat. Noah gave a soft snort. I wish you were here, Danny said. I need you so much. You call Barney and he can tell us how your dad's doing. We care about you too, Chancey said. I will, Danny signed off, and Billy put the phone down. The silence hung in the air for a second, and I took a deep breath to steady my emotions. Danny needed help, and I was stuck in Hawaii. "Congratulations, you'll be a dad," Lynette said. She rose from her chair and gave me a quick hug. "I'm so proud of you, too. Do you have pictures? I want to see every single one of them." "I'd love to show them to you," I said, grateful for the distraction. But I guess Noah had other ideas. "You don't need a baby or a guy that can't be here for you. I'm here because you need a man in your life, one who will help you grow up," Noah said, and stepped forward, presenting the flowers. "One that isn't an emotional cripple holding you back." "Don't you talk about Danny like that," Billy shouted, "or were you talking about me?" Noah's eyes narrowed. I guess he hadn't noticed Billy's chrome racing chair. Not just our table went quiet, but everyone in the sand crab. "Somebody just said the wrong thing," Mauricio said. I went from angry to dead calm in less than 3 seconds. Even though Danny wasn't here, I would avenge him. "Noah, I've tried to be nice about this, but as Danny would say, let's do the numbers." "This I've got to see," Billy said. "Anyone got popcorn?" "What do you mean?" Noah said, and pulled up a chair by me, close to me, disgustingly close to me. "You, me, together. It's simple," Noah said. "Let's back up to a year ago. Let's say you had a 100% chance of making up. You didn't, but let's say you did," I said. "That's a good place to start," Noah said. "I hated when Danny did this," Johnny said. "Nothing like an accountant to make you face reality." I gave my brother a little smile, but I wasn't smiling inside. "Noah, you left. That left my finances in a pretty bad state, -10 from the 100. I had to finish paying off the lease. Another -10. My finances were so bad, I had to move back with my family. Another -10. Johnny adjusted his phone and leaned forward and said, "I had to share a room with Ilio and Timmy. Again. Do you know how big that dog was? That's -20. "Wait a minute. I went from 100 to 50 that fast?" Noah said. "You didn't like my dog. Minus another 10. You didn't like me surfing, even though I told you I needed it to keep my leg limber. Another 10. You know I don't drink, and I've told you why, yet you still ordered wine for me. Another 10, I said. "I brought you flowers," Noah said. +5, I said. "Then I met Danny, and he needed some help. Along the way, we fell in love. -50 for you, +50 for him." "Wait a minute, 50? Noah said. "He likes dogs. 10 for him," I said. "This isn't fair math," Noah said. "We were good together." "Noah left you with the lease and all the bills?" Chancey said. "He did. Guess what else he did? Noah used my brother to find out about me and Danny. -10. Then he bothered me at work. Danny and his terrible coffee rescued me. -10 for you, Noah, +10 for him," I said. Billy said, "Noah, you're at -145. Danny's at 70. He's winning." "Then you showed up at the luau the other night. Minus another 10, +10 for Danny. That was some kiss," I said. "I think it should be 20, Mauricio said. His hands wandered. "This is rigged," Noah yelled. "You bothered us at the race, another -10. Then you targeted Danny." "Do you know Stacy Coleman? She's kind of famous," I said. Noah wasn't the man I remembered at all. My anger and annoyance rose. "She's Danny's friend, and you embarrassed him right in front of her. She recorded your conversation. How would you guys like to hear what Noah told Danny on Saturday?" It took a moment, and the recording played. Billy shook his head. "So that's why Danny disappeared," Chancey said. "Noah, when I heard that, and if you were still around, Mauricio would have had to call the cops on me because I would beat the crap out of you. -5,000 points, I said." "What?" Noah said. I'm still pissed. Then you called my brother to find out when Danny's leaving, I said, lowering my voice and staring Noah down. Noah, you are so far behind Danny, Billy said. It's best to admit defeat and walk away. 2 people in my life you don't mess with. Billy and Danny, my best friend and my boyfriend. Saturday was Danny's last day here, and we were trying to make it the best of his life. You humiliated him. Any chance you thought you and I had died when I heard that recording. We are through, I yelled. Noah scoffed. You need to grow up and realize how good we were. I shook my head. Noah wouldn't stop. Good thing I had a backup plan. You need to grow up and realize that I spoke to Mauricio during the race, I said. We spoke about you. Mauricio has some friends. They are detectives in the Honolulu PD. Guess who I talked to this morning? Guess who got a copy of the recording? Guess who opened a file with every incident from last week and a few from before when you contacted my brother? You didn't, Noah yelled, leaping to his feet, knocking the chair over. It's a nice big file with your name on it. We said a few words, like stalking and harassment. They said if you don't show up again, you've learned your lesson. Guess you never learned because you showed up here. Johnny's recording it. We have a table full of witnesses. Guess who I'm contacting as soon as you leave? I'm only trying to get back together, Noah said. How many times do I have to say no? For a moment, I saw Noah as the man who I had been attracted to. Tall, self-assured, confident. All the things I didn't have back then. But all I needed was somebody to protect. I needed Danny. I loved Danny. I stood up and stepped toward Noah. I wasn't afraid of him anymore. Goodbye, Noah. I never want to see you again. Noah stared at me, his face growing red and furious. You reported me to the police? How dare you? Noah shouted. He grabbed Danny's suitcase and swung it at me. Duct tape barely held the battered thing together. Not anymore. It sprung open. Button-down shirts, sensible shoes, rolled-up socks, boxer briefs, a belt, every single type of condom, and lube flew everywhere. The teddy bear Noah had been holding landed under a table. Noah dumbly stood looking at the mess. Lynette would have fallen backwards if Mauricio hadn't caught her, and Johnny turned 7 different shades of red. I laughed. I hope Danny never hears about this, but knowing Billy, he would. But trust Billy to come up with something fast. Look at those horrible shoes. Who got to play the accountant? Anyone see the glow-in-the-dark condoms? Those were our favorites. Give Danny 1,000 points for that one. I reached over and started to pick up the condoms. Chansey helped as well. Get out of here, Noah. I will call the police if I see you anywhere near my family or my work. Just to show you I'm serious, I'm dialing now. I took my phone from the table. Noah gave me one last hateful look and ran off. It took us a minute to clean up the mess and put everything back in the suitcase. Danny must have bought a year's supply of condoms. I hope it's over, Lynette said, taking a long drink. What about Danny? I closed up the suitcase as best I could, but I don't think the lock would ever close again. I let a breath out and relaxed. I had stood up to Noah. But I had another problem now. Danny's dad could be dying, I said. I'm not going to let him face this alone. What do you mean? Johnny said, and shut his phone down and put it away. I didn't like the choice, but there was no option. I loved Danny, and I had to be with him, especially if his dad died. I glanced at Billy. The serious expression in his eyes and his slight nod told me that he understood what I had to do. Lynette's eyes widened a little. She knew it also. My heart racing, I took a seat and picked up my sub, but I didn't eat. Lynette, this is something I have to do. If you need to, you can fire me, but I have to stand by Danny right now. Lynette looked at Mauricio and at Chansey. Both of them nodded. "You do what you need to do," Lynette said. "We'll classify this as emergency family medical leave and give you a week to take care of our Danny. If you need more time, you call me and we'll figure things out." "That was more than I was expecting. Thank you," I said. "Chansey, look at the connections. See if you can arrange emergency medical fare with one of the airlines. Ilio, we can get you a deal going there, but you're on your own on the way back," Lynette said. She got out of her seat, came over, and hugged me. "You two take care of each other." Thanks, friends, for listening. I appreciate it. A little background. This was a fun chapter to write and a difficult chapter to write. It took me multiple tries to get it right, and even then, I kept adjusting it and fixing it. This wasn't my first novel. It has a lot of mistakes, but I enjoyed writing it. I enjoyed going over it, and I hope you did too. If you're wondering what happened to my very first novel, you'll probably never hear it. I made a lot of mistakes. I've learned a lot since then. Anyway, thank you for listening. Peace.